It's not a guitar video, it's a video log with a guitar in it. Hey everyone on YouTube, how are you guys doing? It's Giles here. I hope you're doing. That really threw me off. I'll do that again. Hi everyone on YouTube, it's Giles here. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Is there something that comes after that? I can't remember. Bollocks. Completely empty. So, in my infinite quest to be a character in some kind of twisted sitcom, I am ill for the third time in 2 months with some flu-y crap. Thankfully, the last illness I had was so much worse than this that this one doesn't feel so bad. Although I did wake up this morning and my nose was out of action. I just woke up and I was just like, well, that's weird. Can't sniff at all. And I had things to do. I had a lot of things to do. I was supposed to be playing badminton tomorrow. I'm not going to now. I'll go play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not going to now. And the guy who's teaching me guitar, you know, my old friend Dan, he was coming over today. That's not happening either. So all I've got is it's just me and you and this guitar, because I am so fed up. I am so tired of being ill. And you know, I was pondering this, but I can't tell if it's paranoia. Like, there's a part of me that wondered that maybe I've been a shut-in for quite some time, and now I'm going out more, and it does make me wonder if it's like an antibodies thing, you know, like, you're starting to be a bit more social. There's, you know, maybe you're not as durable as the more social individuals. That might just be nothing, but I don't know. I did like the camera where it was, but just so you can maybe see the guitar. I tried to play for an hour a day, but I couldn't play yesterday because I was ill, and that really bummed me out. So I'm just gonna, I always run through the things that I know. I always hit the C first, because that was the thing that was difficult, and I hit the top string there. I don't feel well enough to be doing this. And then the E minor, and the E major, and then this one, that's a D, isn't it? A, and the other one, G. How could I forget the G? I am a G. And the one that I'm currently working on, which is F. I haven't forgotten any other ones I know. See, I was really annoyed about not playing yesterday, because the F is such a pain in the ass. But I'm kind of enjoying it. I feel like if I can get the F down, then I can do anything, you know? I'm listening to the dead strings. The dead strings. Your mum is alright. Yeah. That sounds it's an interesting thing, because I accepted very early into learning the F that it wasn't going to happen until, you know, a couple of days of playing. Like, you can't just move your hands around. You just got to make sure they're in the right position and just keep doing it every day, and it'll just sound better and better. And then every now and then I hit an E minor, just to make me feel a little bit better. Although I did deaden a string there, did you hear it? There we go. Strumming is so difficult for me at the moment, but I just do it to, it's almost like I'm stress testing what I'm doing with a chord, because I have noticed that I'll hold the chord perfectly, and the second I strike it like 2-3 times, my hand will, this hand will just, it'll loosen something or tighten something, and I'll just notice the chord will get more wrong the more I play it. So even though I'm not very good at strumming, I like to do it just to just to put the chord to the test. Oh, how dare you! See, that's getting better, because this top one and that bottom one, for the first couple of days, I couldn't move my finger to hold down this finger here. I couldn't put enough pressure on that and that at the same time. It's like a seesaw. It's really weird. It's sort of like the second I put pressure on the bottom fret, then this one went dead, and then I would go, all right, then I'll put more pressure on the top of the finger for the top fret, and then that one would go dead. But it's getting better, and that's one of the things that it's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about guitaring, is that you just do the same thing, and you can't do it. you accept, but you can't do it. But you notice those like tiny little improvements every day. Like it's literally like, well, you know, I mean, like yesterday I hit like one perfect F, considering I hadn't hit one yet. That was really cool. And like the I mean, I think this is I'm trying to think, it's Saturday today. I believe I saw Dan last Saturday, which is when he taught me the F, and this is like my third week of playing. The first sort of 2 weeks I was struggling with all the other chords, the C being the most difficult one. The F is my next enemy, and the funny thing is, the F has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with any of the songs I'm learning. I just sort of, I don't know, I just saw it and I was like, well, that looks quite difficult. I think I'd like to learn that. And then I was looking up some other chords of some other songs that I'd like to learn. And although they don't have an F specifically, they have bar chords in them. And I look at the shape of a bar chord, and I look at the F and I'm like, well, there we go then. I guess this is a guitar log. I didn't mean it to be. E minor. Look at me with my guitar. I think the E minor was invented so that guitarists can feel better about themselves, you know, while they're learning. It's something easy to chew on, do you? And then the other one, see, I run through all the other ones. It also helps me like alternate between stuff. Like if I can sort of go, do this, do that, do this. Apologies if there's any excessive face touching in this video. I'll try and edit it out, as well as coughing or spluttering, lolling. I'll try and get rid of all of it. As if this video wasn't going to be hard enough to edit, all the guitar noises. And then you don't know what to cut out and what to leave in, because you're like, well, it is a guitar-y video. Guitar-y people would probably like the guitar stuff, wrong or right, left in there. Probably just edit very lazily, but remove the mucus. Seems like a solid plan. See, this sort of thing fascinates me, because I'm like, you know, obviously you wanna get good enough at it so that, you know, you practically don't have to look at it to do it. By the way, if you're already annoyed at hearing the same chord over and over again, leave. This is my life. Hey! See, every time I hear those two bottom strings, I'll do that again. Every time I hear those two bottom strings, that's the wrong one. Do it! And every now and then you gotta do that. Does this mean you play the guitar or are you a chav? It does, you know, hitting this chord wrong, it does make me realise how many musicians don't bother to learn it right. They just hit it wrong, go, that's it. That's what I do now. Lazy is what it is. Then people interpreting their playing go, oh, you know, he always mutes this on purpose. I'm like, mute it on purpose? Does he now? Or can he just not do it? no. Yes. Oh. Maybe this is a new avenue for me. Guitar comedy. See, that's the worst thing when you hold it right. It sounds okay-ish. I'm still a little bit undereducated about what the F should bloody sound like. I know I could look it up, but it's much easier to just go, those are all working, and then strike it. That's how I work out what the F sounds like. It's probably the wrong way to do it, but you know, my ears aren't that good. So wanting to play music is probably quite a bad vocation for me. Or I could be the next Beethoven. Yes. Although I don't look like a Saint Bernard. I look more like Dougal from the Magic Roundabout. What even is that? What are you doing? You have combined... You're just playing the C. Oh dear, I do that sometimes. The worst one is when I invert the D, and I don't know why, but there's a specific chord that I think it's when I move from the G, and I end up playing. That is the actual D, isn't it? I can't even demonstrate what I do wrong right. It's that one there, and I'll just hit that. And I'll just have that moment of just like, well, that's clearly not the D. I'm not sure what chord it is that I move from that makes me hit the D like that. How many times have I said hit the D? Is anyone else getting rude thoughts when I say the D? I'll hit the D again for you. That's a big D. I think there's something wrong with that D. I deem it acceptable. E minor. C! C's a hard one to switch to. Actually, to be honest, Dan, help me out with this one, because I'm going like this. So you get your fingers there, and you got your ring finger there. You just wait. I'm doing this wrong. Am I? No. Yes. No. Do. Go like that, because then I can, and this. So that C sounds bad. Sounds bad. I have to deal with this a lot, actually, completely forgetting a chord. It's like when you look at a word spelled right for too long, and then you forget how that word is spelled. And then, like, no matter how correct it is, you can't recognize it as correct. These are the blues that I have to go through. And hopefully I'll be able to play the blues soon. Make like a tragic song about losing my hair. Oh, the most annoying thing is when this one is successful, the top one is successful, and it's one of these guys that are getting it wrong. That drives me absolutely insane, because I'm literally like, the one with the hard job is doing everything right, but you boys that with the easy job, you just, you know, mundane fret holding, you guys aren't pulling your weight. Just because your job is easy doesn't mean that you can do it. You should do it sloppily. Mind you, though, I had to get that with the as much as I love the E minor, it was terribly easy, and I was terribly lazy with it, and I kept like deadening the bottom string. That was nothing. Sounding. still feel like I'm too rough with the strings. I'm pretty relaxed about anything I could be getting wrong, if you know what I mean. I think that's a fair way to be. Like, I'm sort of like, well, you know, it's like deadening a string when you're trying to get a chord right. I just think to myself, well, if you first of all, there's strength in numbers. If you keep playing it, you know, it doesn't matter if it goes wrong once or twice. It's if it goes wrong, you know, 5 or 10 times. if it starts to dominate through error, that's not as good. And it's weird because I was thinking about, there's an artist called Nigel Parkinson, he's the Beano artist. I think he's the main Dennis bloke now. But one thing I noticed looking at a lot of his art, it's one of the things that inspired me to start drawing again, actually, is that he's not the best artist in the world, but he sort of has this relentless drawing style that he makes it make sense. You know, like it's sort of like if you look at some of his drawings, if you examine something really carefully, you can sit there and you sort of go, oh, that doesn't look like that was done with perfect anatomy in mind. But then you look at the picture for the full thing that it is, and you go, that is an amazing picture. And that's where I developed the phrase strength in numbers. If you're gonna screw up, make sure your screw ups are outnumbered. This is all off the back of my learning to learn video. It's all been going around in my head like a wonderful cement mixer. Well, one thing I will say that's quite, I don't know, frustrating or whatever, is when sometimes when you strike the string, your fingers either grip or loosen appropriately that makes the chord ring out with beauty, and then when you go to inspect the strings individually, you'll find some dead ones, and that's always really weird because, you know, the way that I learn the chord is to hold it in position and then to well, I'm missing one, but sometimes it can be like that, but as soon as I just strike it as a chord, it just sounds perfect. Life is a funny thing. Of course I was going for a D minor. I'd be curious, if you're a guitar person, is there a chord that you can think of that is easier than the D minor? I might appreciate it. Oh, G, D, C. That wasn't a very good D. What am I doing? C. Do remember, I am heavily doped on Lemsip right now. Lemsip, Fisherman's Friends, and whatever that is. This. I very well may not be alive right now. And that's all well and good, but the problem is I keep forgetting what I'm doing every 2 seconds. And I know this is also something that I'm learning, so I'm already at a disadvantage in terms of forgetfulness. It's like watching a baboon trying to write Shania Twain. I was going to go for Mark Twain, but I thought Shania would be funnier. Like one thing I found so interesting when I was learning the C chord is how eventually thinking about holding the frets correctly starts to hinder my ability to play the chord, because it's like muscle memory starts to take over. So like it's like I don't know, the brain, the body controlling part of your brain takes over, and it's like, I know where it goes. That goes there, you know, don't worry about it. But the second the brain is like, I must put the fingers in the right place, that is where it goes, and then all of a sudden you just sort of can't do it. I mean, I can do it, but you know what I mean. Although I must confess, I didn't check the tuning before we started, and this is a common Giles problem. I'm hoping to get better at this, but I'm not very good at tuning because I tuned one of the strings down a whole step. I didn't notice. That's how bad I am. And then Dan came up the following week, and I was just like, yeah, it sounds wrong, but I don't know why. Yeah, looks like it was just the fat E. Fat E. There we go. It was just the fatty. There we be. I don't think there was enough really to be bothered. It never hurts to check. And it never hurts to actually get in the routine of checking before you play. That's sounding a bit, my dog just died. Which is fine if you're writing a song about a dog that died. Another thing that fascinates me is hand fatigue. Or just fatigue. Because sometimes your hand just reaches a point where it just doesn't want to do it anymore. And I know this is going to go away with confidence and hand strength, hand power. But it's just really weird how, like, you know, when you first start, your hand can feel tired. I find that like fatigue and just your hand getting tired are two completely different things. Sometimes your hand is tired, but you can still play perfectly fine. But like fatigue is something that it's like you pass a threshold, but you have no idea that you've passed it, and your hand just isn't working anymore. But thus far, it feels like an hour a day has been working. It sounds alright in the second you do the inspection. Oh, you two little bastards. No. Oh, is that what you're thinking? Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. That's pathetic. There we go. And the thing is, I'm still not too worried about placement because, you know, people say, oh, it's easier if you do that, it's easier if you do that, we do that and do this, do that. The way I'm sort of, the way that's working is just to keep doing it. And I feel like my hand is naturally finding a better place to be just the more I try and hit the chord. There is a song that I keep thinking of when I hit it wrong. Makes me wonder if they were hitting it wrong on purpose or if they just couldn't do it and made a song out of it. So you know, every now and then you just gotta go F it, do some of that, and then this one. You run through them just to remind me that I am learning stuff. It's like a morale boost. And then you go back to the F. Back to the mines, back to the coal chamber. There we are. There's nothing to get down about. It's funny because, like, I had somebody on TikTok said, you know, oh, it's harder than it looks, isn't it? It's like, well, after owning like 6 guitars for my entire life, I'm now 36, and having never learned and now finally just learning. Yeah, it's certainly not something you're going to pick up overnight. What's seeing me through is that I don't like calling it difficult because it doesn't feel difficult. It feels like it takes time. I don't know, like something difficult. I feel like something difficult offers no reward short term, while I feel like this does. And as much as I'm sitting there, you know, days later still trying to play the F, I feel like every time I try and play it for the hour, it feels a little bit more fruitful every time. Just to hear that, me being able to, I couldn't do that on my first day of the F. I couldn't hold it as on the fretboard and be able to hear the sound of either of the 2 bottom strings. And although I'm still having trouble with it, I'm still hearing them sometimes, and that's better than the whole first hour of when I played on the first day. It's like noticing those little things like that, and that sort of, you know, like it's I don't know, it's changing my life. Like I found myself like in bed, like going, oh, I can't wait to play the guitar tomorrow morning. And I feel like an hour is just right. I feel like it doesn't, you know, as well, life is busy, you know, you don't always have time, but since learning, I've only had 2 off days. One was Christmas, fair enough. The other one was yesterday when I was ill. See, and this is when it starts to feel like fatigue, because I'm just lacking the strength now to put any force on the bottom strings at all. But I don't mind staying here anyway, as long as I'm not forcing the hand, you know, I'm not hurting myself. I'm sort of like, I'll keep playing it anyway, just to just for like the sake of muscle memory, just to keep it in my head as to where my hand is going to go when it's on the fretboard. I always forget the A. I think it's because the A was one of those weird things where he taught it to me, and I thought it looked immensely difficult because it's such a crowded note. You know, you've got your 3 fingers on the same fret all right next to each other like that. And I saw it and I was like, Jesus Christ, that looks, you know, because the first thing you're going to think about is how fat your hands are, especially if you've got fat hands like me. But well, evidently it's all right. I can't believe I'm ill again now. I'm sort of, and the thing is, all the symptoms are different. Like, people see, as an ex-smoker, it is supposed to be very concerning if you get, you know, lung infections or colds or flus and stuff like that, because it could mean something quite nasty. But thankfully, or not thankfully, depending on how you look upon it, all the other people I've known have been getting ill too. So I'm all right. So I'm sort of like, well, all right, you're just getting a lot of different viruses. But they're all different viruses. They're all sort of like, I'm becoming some kind of flu connoisseur. Although I don't think this one's flu. I think the previous one was flu, but I don't think this one is. Let's switch something. And the thing is, I'm not too bothered about strumming going wrong, because I know that it's going to be very different when I'm actually playing a song, because you know what you're supposed to be persisting with. Otherwise, if you're just strumming aimlessly, like, you're going to lose the rhythm, because there is no rhythm. It's not a song. Thankfully, that's happening less and less. Where you go, whoa, you know. Every now and then, I get a little bit closer to the camera because I'm so paranoid that, like, there's going to be some residue from my illness around my schnauzer. I think we're all right. But if there has been, at any point in this video, there's been some disgusting snotty splurge, I apologise. It's because I'm dying. Disclaimer, not actually dying. Until further notice. You want to fight? You know, the worst thing is sometimes I do the thing where, you know, same thing, I'll be holding it down and I'll be like, ooh, all the strings are right. And as soon as I go to strike it, my hand slightly repositions itself and something's dead. I didn't. Oh, never mind. But it's like I said, like, you know, you might be watching this going, try doing this, try doing that. I don't think there's anything else to try, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like changes happen naturally, you know, like my brain is naturally just going, try it this way, try it that way. And what sticks is what will stick, and that will usually come from the sound. Funny enough, I learned that with the C, because the C's given me a lot of confidence, because I thought it was just impossible when I was just like, how the hell do you do that? I wouldn't say I've mastered the chord at all, because, you know, I still have to look at it and you know, and I think obviously it's going to vary between circumstances and how easy it is to switch to it, but the fact that I can play it so clearly now told me everything I needed to know about the guitar. It's just like, just take some time, do the same bloody thing over and over again. It will make sense the more you do it. Oh, there we go. My friends, we are gathered here today to pay our respects to Dan's guitar, which Giles killed. I didn't mention that, this isn't my guitar, this is Dan's guitar. He very kindly lent it to me, because apparently my guitar is a turd. He said it in the nicest, most polite way possible. I think I said this in the video before, what we think is that it's a second-hand, old, cheap guitar. It's funny because I still find myself sort of, you know, like, my arm's in a weird position. It's like in this sort of vice-like position, trying to hold the frets as hard as possible. In a weird way, that gives me confidence as well. Because when I was first learning the C, I was holding it, but I swear to God, it was up here somewhere. And I was just sort of like, I will play you. And then as you play it more and more, your hands get a bit stronger and you require less arm strength to do it. And you've just reached a more sane position to hold the guitar. Is this like a tips from a beginner sort of video, which is really weird? Like, why would you want tips from a beginner? Maybe I'm going over the things that new people learning guitars just don't talk about. But thanks to my I talk about everything brain, I'm, no pun intended or pun intended, hitting the right notes, so to speak. Trying to G. Ah. There's something going wrong. That's not too bad. And I assure you, I wasn't using the camera screen to help me place my fret hands. As a matter of fact, I think that would make it harder because it's reflected, isn't it? It's the wrong way around. I've been through the desert on a horse with no ass. He didn't have a lot of class. So I told you, that's when I get annoyed, when it's one of the middle strings. Because I'm literally like, you have an easy job. You have an easy job. Big fat index finger. He's got the world on his shoulders for this F, and you guys can't pull it together. You can't find the staff. Hear that tang? Tang! I'm sorry. I forgot I was making a video for a moment there. I have the habit of whistling or singing stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm playing while I'm playing the F over and over again. It's like my brain just goes on autopilot, you know. Although I think actually what I was whistling there was Born Bad by Voltaire, which is a song I really want to learn and sing. I Will Serenade You. But I think it starts with an F, because as soon as Dan played it for me, it was like blah, 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 and I was like, that's Born Bad. I mean, I don't mean it's the whole song. It'd be a very bad songwriter if it was the whole song. It is sounding better. Like once you know you're doing it right, the only thing that you've got to just keep an eye on is just dead strings, and that, you know, I feel like naturally your hand starts to adjust itself. Just once you hear that blunt sound. And I have been a little bit complimented, because some people are saying, you know, some people sort of say that I'm playing it okay for how early I am into practicing it. I mean, I uploaded a short where I showed it, and I said this is after 2 weeks of playing the guitar, and they were like, that's a pretty good F after 2 weeks. And I sort of like, actually that was after a couple of days, because I learned the F late into play. I've only been learning the F about a week. Maybe they're just being nice to try and spur me on, but I appreciate it. It's just a case of the whole hanging stronger, because I think, you know, I was talking about like the seesaw effect, where I can't, you know, try and put pressure up there and this one becomes loose, and I put pressure down there and that one becomes loose. The same thing happens when I do finally get enough pressure on the whole thing. These fingers weaken as well. I was yelling at them earlier, and that again, that's just time. It's exactly the same as how, you know, the C. Like how painful the C was when I first did. I was just sort of like, how do you do this? This will go down by there. But now it's sort of, it feels really natural. And again, it's not perfect. But I'm still comparing it to how it was when it first sounded. So I'm pretty bloody happy. It appears I am not at peace with the F enough to just casually slide into it. Oh no! That's gone. I don't need a plectrum. I'll just play with my fat hands. Where's the plectrum? I don't think I've heard anyone call it a plectrum in years. They call them picks, don't they? Picks! Even though plectrum sounds like an overeducated posh child. And this is our boy, Plectrum. Hello there. It's like Sheldon's brother, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely improved since I last played it. Although, you know, it gets to that point where you can't necessarily pick out what's better about it. You just know it's either sounding better or being played easier. And it sounds weird, but even that horrible noise, I know that's not the string being hit properly, but I take solace in the fact that it's not completely dead. We like our strings alive and healthy. I'm looking forward to that one being, you know, as I play them, like blur, 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 I look forward to the C. Like, I'm getting better at incorporating the C into that. But, you know, obviously it's a little bit more complicated than the others. It's going to be very interesting when the F starts being incorporated into that. That's what I hope to do in the end, you know. I think there's like, I don't know, like 12 chords in there, 12, 13, I think. Or main chords, rather. And I just know them all, and I just cycle through them on a daily basis. I'm not saying finite, that's what I'm going to do, but, you know, when I'm learning something difficult and I want to pick me up, that's what I'll do. E minor. G for Giles. D for Dick. That A was for arsehole. As opposed to ascension. Or just A in general. Perfection. I didn't do it, you did it. I have no idea if this is a shit video or not. I just thought I'd try it. Let me know. If you go, Giles, I enjoyed your wholesome concert. Do it again, bitch. Then I will consider it. I will consider it with my council of elders. They're all of which are called Giles. We are a proud people. No. Oh, I forgot how to do the A. It's a bit like the AVGN theme, isn't it? Do 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 do. No, the guitar one, not the other one. I have noticed I'm all right with that. Sometimes I hear a chord and I can identify the songs that it starts with, and that startles me a little bit because I didn't think I was good like that. Oh god damn this sickness! The sickness is called the guitar. Wouldn't it be amazing if I just started shredding on it as soon as I said that? Unfortunately, I don't have the knowledge or ability or brains to do that just yet. But soon, I will be able to fulfill that joke. A broken F. My little timer, I did set my timer on mute. It says we've been here for an hour, although obviously I'm going to edit the video down. No sense you being here for an hour as well. But yeah, I like to keep it quite strict. I don't know why. I think it's just, I don't know, make the best of it in an hour, and it's like I compartmentalize it. I'm like, as long as you do that, then you get on with any work or anything you need to do. Just do this for an hour a day, you know. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. I know I certainly have. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do many more videos like this. Obviously, I play it every day, but I can't do this every day because, you know, I've got to edit it as well. That's time consuming. But, you know, once in a while, I'll check in with you guys, tell you how I'm doing. But if you think it's a good idea, take care of yourselves, and thanks very much for watching. See you later.